What's going on, champs and chamets? It's FireMonkey here, scuffing up the recording for like the 5th time in a row because, I kind of, recorded the whole entire video multiple times just to realize, hey, my microphone track's muted. So with that said, hope you're enjoying it, right? Hope you're all having a good day. Chapter 4 is absolutely amazing, and even though I could make a video just rambling on about how much I enjoy this chapter, what I want to do right away is talk about some upcoming leaks regarding this chapter, right? I want to talk about the perk system / augment system that was added this season and how they already have around like 20 different augments that aren't already enabled in game planned to release. We'll be going over all the names for those upcoming augments, and then we'll be talking about some ones that we have extra info on. I want to mention right away though that we don't have info on every single upcoming augment because they don't have all the files prepared for everything, only some of them, so some of them will be a little bit more vague, while others are going to be a lot more understandable on how they're going to work. Now, there's going to be a list on screen right now that I'm about to read out of all the different augment names, or at least their code names, and what they might do, but something I want to mention right away is that Bloodhound and Multitask are already enabled in the game. I do think Multitask goes under a different name, but those are two of the perks that I accidentally included on the list that, despite, being on there, already exist. The rest, however, are upcoming ones, and they are ones we'll be seeing in the near future, so just keep that in mind as we go through the list, why I skipped over those specific ones. But all of the names for the upcoming augments are Danger Hero, Double Hook, Dragon Armory, Foodie, Green Thumb, Gun Game, Harvester, High Ground, Hunter Gather, Icy Slide, Knight's Armory, Midas Touch, Plunder, which is also known as Pilly's Plunder, we have Riftjector Seat, we have Shadow Strike, Shotgun Siphon, Sniper Specialty, Unstable Foot, and Zero Shield. Now, while some descriptions don't exist for stuff like Dragon Armory or Sniper Specialty, we can kind of speculate based on what their name is and how they relate to similar perks that already exist in the game, that these are going to be things that give you extra items whenever you equip them, right? So Dragon Armory will most likely be a system where you're going to be able to get, like the Dragon Breath Shotgun or something like that, and then Sniper Specialty might give you a DMR or one of the new upcoming snipers Epic Games is working on when it officially releases, so just keep that in mind. Now, with that said, however, we do have some upcoming augments that we do know some ideas of what's going on with them. Now, keep in mind there's around like 2 or 3 of them that are pretty vague even with all this extra information, so we won't be able to know everything, but we do have a generalized idea. So firstly, Danger Hero is going to be an interesting one where whenever you're sprinting with this perk or augment enabled, you will actually be able to gain health and shield. So basically think about it like this: if you're in a gunfight but you have this augment, you'll start regaining your health and shield as you're running around. Now, it's unsure of how much health and shield you're gaining every second, but they do have it planned so that you will be able to gain some of it, so that it kind of helps you in those clutch situations, and it might actually be a game changer that keeps you alive in battle, right? Imagine having just to quickly run around to a different corner, being able to do that because of this augment, and then all of a sudden, bada bing, bada boop, right? You're safe, you're gaining your health back, and you're able to try combating that person even better. We also have a few more, health-themed ones like Harvester, which makes it so whenever you actually destroy bushes, you'll be able to gain shield mushrooms, apples, and grenades, because, we all throw grenades in a bush every once in a while. We have Hunter Gather, which gives you extra HP or shield when you're consuming food, so what might be a 40 HP flopper could actually be an 80 HP flopper when you actually decide to use it while having this augment equipped, which could be a really big game changer, right? That sounds a little bit more on the OP side, so it'll be interesting to see if Epic Games does release this one or if they decide to scrap it last minute, but it is something that is on their mind and they have some code developed for. We have High Ground, which is a little bit, on the mysterious side, but appears to give you some type of low gravity effect when you're up high in the sky. It could work similar to holding a chicken where, you won't take any fall damage or anything like that, which could be super good, right? Imagine you're just kind of running around or whatever and you don't take any fall damage at all, just jumping off a giant mountain. Could make it so you could have some insane little like trick shots or whatever going on without having to worry about that effect. And also, we just unlocked a new perk here, or augment, which I think is pretty cool. And the storm circle changes, pings the area to highlight nearby enemies for a short duration. I think that's a pretty cool augment, and it kind of shows like how different some of these are, so it's cool to see I unlocked one right when I started recording this video. Anyways, when it comes to some of the other augments, we have Icy Slide, which will give you an icy feet effect whenever you're sliding, basically allowing your slide distance to be even further. We then have Midas Touch, which is going to be a very interesting one. No, it won't make your guns gold, but what it will do is give you 40 golden bars for every single enemy you eliminate. So if you ever eliminate an enemy and you're just done with that match or whatever, you're done fighting that battle, you'll just get a bonus 40 bars for absolutely nothing. And honestly, I find that to be a very good one that I'll pick quite often because I do spend a lot of bars actually re-rolling my perks in order to get the combinations I do want, because there is a perk that I've been using a lot which basically gives you glider redeploy, and you know, I love me some glider redeploy, so I would spend a million bars in the world if I could get that every time. And especially with the Midas touch thing, basically making it higher to guarantee that little gimmick of, you know, being able to reroll and get what you want could be something that becomes very useful. We have Pilly's Plunder, which is actually going to cause the return of an older item, the buried treasure map, to come back to the game. With this, whenever you activate the augment, it will give you one buried treasure map, and when you use that map, of course, you know, it'll work just like it used to, where you have a marked location on the map, you go over there, you pickaxe the ground, and then congratulations, you have your very own chest, which is also going to give you some XP. So, you know, it's just a nice little system Epic Games is working on to bring back some of those older items and make them use that augmentation system. And honestly, think about it. Imagine if the whole entire augmentation system worked where it can make it so old items or, you know, vaulted items could show up randomly in a match if you actually have the specific augment enabled, right? Could be a nice little gimmick that Epic Games could do just to kind of mix up the loot pool a little bit more and allow people who might want, you know, the original pump shotgun or something to return once again to get that. And actually, you know what? Wouldn't it be funny if we got an augment that just had double pump or something like that? Sadly, Epic Games is not working on one like that, but it is just something to think about, right? It's something that Epic Games could 100% do if they really wanted to. Now, when it comes to more of the annoying-sided perks, I would say, for some people in the community, or at least the ones that my community has seen to be more controversial, we have the Riftjector seat. Now, by the name alone, you might be like, okay, it's just a Rift thing, right? What's so bad about this? Well, based on the description and code on how this Riftjector seat is going to work, it appears that whenever you actually use this augment, if you have shield on you, like me right now with 50 shield and 1 health, if someone was to break my shield and I still had health in order to live, I would instantly be rifted all the way up into the sky. So think about it, as long as you have one tiny bit of shield, you could get an instant rift to go whenever you want, whenever you're in danger. And honestly, a lot of people in the community have been mixed on it, right? Some people are like, oh, I'm going to be using this every time, whereas others are like, oh, this will be insanely annoying to fight if you find someone using it in a match. Now, Epic Games can artificially, you know, make this one harder to obtain, making it a lot more rarer for people to get, but it is still a upcoming, you know, augment that does have a picture and everything else planned for it, so it could be one of the first new augments we see added in the next few updates. We then have Shadow Striker, which is a little bit more on the vague side, but is still kind of there and kind of, you know, understandable. Basically, it has something to do with the Shadow Bomb effect. A lot of people are speculating that maybe it's going to be one of those shield breaking ones, where whenever you have your shield broken, you become invisible through the Shadow Bomb effect, and you're able to kind of do the ghost ability for a short amount of time. Where did this bot go? Okay, then, well, oh, they're over there. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, it's just one of those upcoming augments that are, you know, a little bit more on the vague side, and it's just something that, you know, is interesting to see at least Epic Games thinking about. And then we have two final ones to mention that we have a lot of information on. Firstly is Zero Shield, which works similar to Riftjector seat, where instead of having the Rift effect, what happens is when your shield breaks, you will gain a 0-point dash effect similar to what you would get from the flopper, where if you double tap the space button, or, you know, whatever your jump button is if you're on console or whatever, you will actually be able to dash forwards. And it's just, you know, a nice little way to kind of dodge out of combat in serious situations and kind of save yourself if it becomes a perk that you end up finding. And then finally, the most self-explanatory perk that didn't even need information in the files for me to understand it is Shotgun Siphon. I mean, by the name itself, it should make sense, right? This is a perk that's going to make it so you get Shotgun Siphon. Whenever you shoot an opponent with the shotgun, you'll get some health back or some shield back. It's a very unique system to see Epic Games doing in order to bring Siphon back in a interesting way where you're not going to have it every game, but you could have it every so often. Overall, though, this is the main list of, you know, upcoming news, leaks, and augments that we know about. I would love to hear in the comments down below, what do you think about the augment system, and what do you think about these upcoming ones? Are there any that you're scared for, or are there any that you're excited for? I'm just curious what everyone has to say, and with that said, I just gotta say, Chapter 4 is honestly super beautiful. Now, I'm sorry if this video had any lag or anything like that. I'm playing with ray tracing enabled, right? They did some major performance upgrades, so I've been playing with ray tracing, and honestly, it works super well for me. I just don't know how well it works while recording, so if there are some weird issues here and there, I'll be working on fixing those and lowering my graphics settings if I need to. But with that said, hope everyone's enjoying Chapter 4. Let me know in the comments down below the question of the day, and I'll see you champs and champettes tomorrow with another YouTube video. Peace out.